He is back from the Thailand.
The Thailand.
Dude. How was the trip?
It was good. It was good. It was hot, and it was the longest flight I've ever been on. But best trip I've ever been on for sure.
Sweet.
I was that way. I was on the other side of the world. Isn't that crazy?
What was your first American meal back?
Chick-fil-A.
Thomas!
What's up?
What's up, man?
Hey, down.
Wait, hold on. Now you're terrible lighting. Let me get some good lighting here. Welcome. Tom, Michaela. Michaela, Tom.
Tom.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Well, hello, my friends. Hope you're doing fantastic. It is Monday, and the whole crew is back.
Yeah.
There they are. Feels good to be back in the office. Feels good. I'm not even going to play the catch-up game like every vlog's been starting recently. Yep, I haven't vlogged in like 5 days, and here's the great thing about YouTube. I just do it whenever I can. Hope you're doing fantastic. It is an insanely windy day outside. A tree almost fell on my car, but that's another whole story. Let's get to work. It is Monday, the best day of the week. I'm fired up. Big things are happening, folks. To those who wondered if I switched my desk setup again, I didn't switch my desk setup, but this guy over here needed my mouse because he didn't want to use the other one that was there, and he didn't bring his, so I'm just like ghetto rigging it today. But you do what you gotta do. Feels great to be back in the office. Feels great to have some people back in the office with me, people that can actually help me with editing. A really busy week last week, and it was really hard trying to actually like find the balance of getting things done while still trying to do the other things. So it's really feels nice being back and kind of back into a flow, and that's what I'm really spending a lot of time on, is trying to figure out the flow and trying to put the right things in place for growth. I always feel like it's really important to always be thinking about what you're trying to do years from now and start putting things into place if you're actually looking to grow to those levels. I feel like I see a lot of people early in business get to a point where they're making plenty enough money and the company is growing pretty fast, and they have the funds and they have the capability to bring some more people on, whether it's editing or admin stuff. They have the capability to do it, but they wait and try to do as much as they can by themselves until they really need the person, rather than thinking of it differently and looking at the fact that sure, you may take some money out of your pocket as you're growing. You may have to take less money to hire people, but if you can bring people on that give you some of your time back to do things that you might either do more efficiently or things that you could do to actually help the company grow even more, I feel like it's a worthwhile investment. It really comes down to like, what are your actual goals? Are you looking to grow things to a much bigger level? Then I always say try to hire people when you can and continue to grow your work, because if you are able to get more work, you can hire more people. But the problem is, if you try to get tons more work before you have the right people in place, where you're going to leave clients with expectations that aren't met. And then it looks really bad. It looks bad for your company. It looks bad for just everything you're trying to do with the company. Try as early as you can, even if it's part-time at the beginning and eventually getting to full-time. Try to bring people on board and start to train them for when things get busier. It's much easier to have things in place when growth really starts to happen than waiting till the very last minute. And then when things are crazy busy, trying to train somebody from scratch to do things becomes really difficult. It's much easier if you're kind of planning for that in the process. Now, obviously, it's important to caution yourself and to not just move so incredibly fast that you just want to have a lot of employees for no reason whatsoever. It's important to make sure that you hire people that actually make sense for what you're trying to do. And that's obviously something that takes some getting used to and figuring out like, what are the things you really need. But don't wait so long. There's a lot of people I know that are doing 50, 60 weddings a year, or they're doing a big commercial business and they're doing it all themselves when plenty of money is coming in to just hire somebody. The one way you can make sure you don't grow is if you take on so much work and then you can't handle it yourself that your clients are let down, then you're not going to continue to get work. So I'd kind of rather be on the side of erring a little bit more caution of bringing people on a little earlier and taking some money out of my pocket than being pumped up that all this work comes in and just completely failing at actually accomplishing it. Good having you back.
Dude, good to be back.
Yeah.
Back in America.
Back in America. Tom, we're going to eat some dinner. We got some Golden Light. Not some good Golden Light, but some strong light coming in on that little side there.
can't hear anything you're saying.
You know, thinking back to when I started my company 4 or 5 years ago to when I went full-time in my company 2 years ago, and then the growth that's happened, I think that I've realized without question, and especially over the last bunch of weeks, that one of the biggest reasons that I've been able to grow is because I've brought people on board. I've not been afraid of taking the risk of obviously having to guarantee people salaries and money. And because of that, I've been able to grow because I've been able to know that if I take on more work, I can handle it. And it was interesting because the last week that Pablo was gone, and then my other editor and shooter wasn't really around too for a couple of different reasons, it was kind of really just me and then Mindy, but Mindy doesn't do as much of the actual editing. And so it was kind of me by myself to a point. And I hadn't really been like by myself editing / doing all the other things that I was doing for a while. And I quickly realized, like, man, number one, it just wasn't fun at all because I'm trying to manage running the business and trying to manage working with Mindy and other people on other things that are happening. But simultaneously, I'm also trying to edit, and then I'm trying to get more work, but I don't want to take on much work because I can't really do it that week. And I realized, like, it's not a fun way to actually grow a business. And I realized that the only reason that I've grown the way that I have, I think, is because of the fact that I've brought people on board who I feel like can help my business. And then when I bring them on, I really let them do what they're good at so that they can help. And I love being a part of a team and working together on things. Yes, at the end of the day, I make the ultimate call for everything because it's my business. But I realize I've grown by letting other people be a part of this journey and letting them know that, like, I value their opinions and I value the things that they think and the way that we can grow together. And most importantly, helping them to believe that when I grow, they also have benefits of that as well. But what I think is really important for you to realize is that when I talk about like growth in my company, or when I talk about all the good things that are happening, I don't talk about them because I'm trying to flaunt the fact that like more money's coming in and more growth is happening and like, ooh, look at me, I do such a great job. It's not that at all. Like it's all about the fact that I'm trying to share my journey with you because so many of the things that I'm trying to share to people that are new in this business, or maybe you that are watching this channel and you're running everything by yourself, is that I'm trying to give the value that I would have loved to learn when I was new in my business. Because when I first started, like I wanted to do everything myself, and I thought I was fully capable of doing everything myself. So I naturally did it, and I hustled and worked as many hours as possible, and that's all great. But I think there's this in the middle ground where people are really afraid to like hire their first employee when there's a lot of money coming in. And they're just pocketing all the money, but not really enjoying like life. They're working so incredibly much and being like, yay, we're bringing in tons of revenue, but it's just you by yourself and you're working like crazy and there's no balance in your life. And man, I can't tell you what a difference it's made for me being able to just let go of certain things. I've gotten a better result by letting go of certain things. And I just enjoy it more. I love working with a team. I love when this office is like full of people. I want to continue to grow that, but I really want to just encourage you that maybe in 2019, maybe you should start thinking about like, how do you grow your team? You may not even necessarily be at a level that is making unbelievable revenue, and you may be thinking to yourself like, I can't hire somebody yet, but like, what's that number that you're trying to get to be able to hire somebody? Do you even have a set number in mind? Do you have like a set goal of when I get to this, I'll hire someone? Or are you just kind of waiting until you're just entirely burnt out and you can't really like do it anymore and then you hire someone? Because one thing I definitely know is it's been a huge value to me to hire people earlier in the process while I'm growing rather than waiting for it to be too late. So take a look at your income, take a look at your revenue, take a look at expenses, and figure out, is there someone that you can bring on board that just shares the same passion as you in terms of just the creativity? Is there someone you can bring on board that loves doing some of the creative things, but you're just a better business owner? Or maybe you're not a great business owner at all, you're just a really good creative and you need someone to run the business side of things. Just evaluate things, think about things all the time. I think you'd be shocked with some of the results that happen when you actually let go of certain things and you realize that it's just more fun working with other people. I hope this was somehow valuable to you. I'm just excited, fired up for some of the things that are happening, but most importantly, just fired up that like I'm starting to see just good things come from me making good decisions years ago that are just starting to continue to just show, man, it's just better when we work with people and when we allow people to do what they're good at. I just wish it for you as well. Thanks for being here, my friends. I'll see you.